Welcome everybody. Hello guys, Cédric Esserver here. My first interview in English. I'm really pleased to welcome Steven Rudolf. Thank you, Steven, for being here.
Thank you, Cedric, for welcoming me.
It's really nice today because we'll talk about something probably deeper than usually. It's about when I feel stuck in a situation that I'm not sure how I can get out of it. If I may, I would like to know, how do you feel, what do you see in the world today, the situation like where most people, most workers are in these years, and what can you see from your window about the situation?
Well, taking a clue from what you just spoke, I see a lot of people who are stuck. I see a lot of people who are in jobs or in careers that don't resonate with who they are, that they're not living fully into their potential. They feel limited, they feel blocked, they feel stuck, and the worst is they don't see the way out. And as a result of this, I see many people trying to consume their way to happiness.
What does it look like to feel stuck, or to see that I am stuck? How can I be sure that I am where you are talking about?
I think most people realize when they're stuck because it's a very obvious, you have obvious signs or sensations that you feel.
Like what?
Okay. So the first thing is that whatever work or activities that that you need to do, and I'll start with your career, with your job, you don't find pleasure in them. You resist them. You feel as though you're forced to do something that you don't want to do. And the feelings that come up with here feel like stress. They feel like your energy is not moving. You feel blocked. You feel angry at times, or you might get angry quickly. You have a tendency to procrastinate, or even to do things like eat too much chocolate, drink too much coffee, a desire to smoke, to shop. Again, a desire to consume your way to happiness. This is one of the telltale signs that you're in that blocked position.
Should I connect the way I'm tired this for years regarding to what you are saying? Is this the same thing or not? The energy, the tiredness.
Oh, absolutely. So if somebody's feeling tired, exhausted, they don't have energy, you want to sleep a lot, again, procrastinate. These are also signs that things aren't working.
Feel desperate, something like that.
You feel
but
desperate.
Not sure that it is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, you could be you could feel desperation. You could feel depression. And here's another one. You don't feel meaning. You don't feel meaning in what it is that you're doing. I see, when you asked your question, what do I see broadly? I see a meaningless crisis. There's a crisis because a lot of people don't see meaning in what it is that they're doing.
Yeah, because when I have a meaningful life, what does it look like to compare?
Right. So when I have meaning is like having meaning in what you do. It's kind of like if you have a sailboat and the wind blows, right?
Okay.
So the wind pushes the sailboat. So I can say something like this, that when I structure my life in a particular way with different types of activities, and those activities have meaning for me, the meaning sort of like, it blows air and it makes my life move, it makes my life go.
Do you mean that it's like the life or God or something works with me and helps me push me in some way?
You could go that far, but I think you could also look at it a bit more simply or practically. And what I mean is this: I have certain values, and those values are things like I want to help people get aligned. That's one of my values in life, my personal value. I have a daughter. I want my daughter to have a variety of experiences, and I want her to enjoy her childhood. I have my wife, so I want her to also have the things that she needs. So I have certain values in my life, and when the activities that I do connect with achieving those values, I find meaning in them.
okay, it's not only about me and how I feel inside, but it's the biggest part of my life is about others, about contribution. It's somewhere you are going.
Yeah, I mean, I'm part of that too. I have things that I also want to achieve.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't leave myself out. For example, I like to create. I like to make music. Those are some of the things that I enjoy doing. I like to teach. So if I have an opportunity where there are things where I can create my music, my meaning, the values that I have to create, to make music, to enjoy that, to share that, if I have you can say like a vehicle or a receptacle to enable me to do that, so then my values get activated.
To express yourself into something
Into
you
something.
offer
Yes.
others.
Yes, yes.
So
So
it's-
then there's that,
yeah.
whether you say it's like a push, that it's a hand of God or the universe or just my values that are, or you might also say that it's like a pull, that it's drawing my values into that. So that makes me feel as though I'm living into my life, I'm living into my potential.
So there is movement instead of being stuck and
Yes.
immobilism.
Yes.
There is movement inside of me
Right.
and outside of me.
Yeah.
And I feel that I'm at zero speed, or I feel there is some velocity in my life.
Right.
It is.
Everybody's experienced this. Either you're in a car, you're on a bicycle, right? You're maybe in an airplane, like a passenger in an airplane, and it's not moving for some reason. Mm-hmm. Like the car is stuck, the bicycle is broken, the airplane is delayed, and what do you feel?
You're inside a vehicle.
Yeah.
But it's at zero speed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so if you're stuck on the runway on an airplane, it's like, what's that? What's that feel? Your car's not, and you have to get somewhere. You want to go somewhere. So our natural propensity as human beings, we want to achieve certain things. We want to do certain things. Just as a consequence of our being human and being living beings, we need to do something. We need to achieve something. And if we can't, then we have a feeling of this sort of blockage. Then the frustration comes and the anger comes, and right. But when the plane starts to go, finally the pilot says, "We'll take off now." The car turns over and it starts to run. Then you feel that that ease, right? You feel that, okay, the movement is happening.
Absolutely.
So that's what I see. A lot of people who have desires, who have things that they want to achieve, but when they see the vehicles that they have, the vehicles are not moving, or they're not allowing them to. I'll give you another one. You need to go really far, but you might just have a bicycle and your car is not working, and maybe you have to go like 50 kilometers. So you have to work really hard to get where you need to go. So this is also frustrating. That
not
you have
efficient.
you have to work really hard in order to achieve the kind of task or the goal that you want to. That's another level of frustration.
This one is good because I can be moving,
Yeah.
but it costs so much resources.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yes.
To burn 100 and get 10.
Exactly.
Yeah. Usually we can expect to burn 10 and get 100 of something back because
Exactly.
more efficient.
Steve Jobs once talked about a research study that was done where they tried to find what the most efficient movement was in terms of animals, including human beings. And I think it was one of the birds, like maybe, I can't remember which one it was, like a hawk or something like that, that was the most aerodynamic in terms of its movement. That means it was the least amount of energy to get the most amount of distance covered movement.
Yeah. Efficiency. Yeah.
But there was one more animal that had a higher level, which was a human being on a bicycle.
Okay.
In other words, when the human being is on a bicycle and moving, it's actually more efficient even than the most efficient animal.
Okay.
And you can find this in Scientific American, one of the issues from 1973. If you search for it, it's available on the internet. But what I believe is that there's even a level above that when we talk about people in terms of their purpose or their value or things that they want to achieve in life. people who are aligned with what they want, with some kind of a vehicle, a type of work or type of activity that matches who they are, when you can get that alignment, that's the most efficient movement a human being can want or can go for.
It's like being aerodynamic on a bicycle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
instead of like that,
Yeah.
just put a different position. Okay.
Yes. But that case was a case in the physical world, moving through the physical world. Here, I'm talking about people and the way that they move through life. You could say the path or the journey, how you move.
Okay.
Yeah.
So people who are watching this understand that they can feel stuck instead of feel being in movement. How can they go from A to B? How can they go from being stuck to being in movement? What is a practical way to understand what is the obstacle that does not allow them to be in movement?
Yeah.
What is your point?
Right. So the first thing is that each person has a unique set of talents or abilities.
Absolutely.
Right.
We are all unique.
Everybody's unique that way. And when my talents align with the type of activity or work that I do, then it's a very efficient way for me to interact with the world, to interact with other people. For example, I have a very, you could say, strong educative nature. I have this tendency to love to teach. I'm also creative with music and with writing. So when I take those talents and I put them together, and I have a topic that I can teach, or I'm creating some content, or I'm creating, could be something musical, right? When I do that work, it's effortless, and I feel fully engaged. There's a concept from Taoism, which is called Wu Wei, and Wu Wei means effortless action. That's a bit confusing because you think, wait, action takes effort. But here what it means is that when my talents are aligned, my talents are working, it's a very limited amount of effort that I have to make. And it's almost like those cars that have batteries in them, like they might be like a dual, or it could be even just electric, like a hybrid or electric car, that they charge themselves while they're moving some amount. So what happens is that when I do activities, and when I do activities that are aligned with what my talents are, it doesn't take much effort and it charges me along the way. Now, some people might be different, right? Some people get that, have a talent for organizing things. Some people have a talent for healing others. Some people like adventure. Some people are more entrepreneurial. And combinations of all of those. And that's what's interesting.
Obviously.
Right? So when you understand which talents go together, and then you align them, and you act on that, your energy starts to flow. And that's when you feel good, and you don't feel stuck.
It is common with something we used to call the flow state. Flow state.
Okay. So this is a really important topic that many people confuse. And I see it like this. There are three states. There are three separate states. One state is flow. Flow means that in the moment, here and now, I'm very connected. Dopamine is like, saturating my brain. My neural activity is going unrestricted. So I feel that sense of flow. I'm absorbed. I forget about hunger or time and those kind of things, right? So that's a state of flow. Flow is something that happens for short periods of time. Seconds, minutes, maybe hours. But usually not more than that. Okay. A next level might be when I'm aligned. The word I'll use is aligned. So alignment might be some days or some weeks. In other words, maybe I'm doing a lot of the activities that align with my talents for these days or these weeks. So it's like I'm in a good spell, kind of, these days. And then a third state, even wider than that, is when I've been in alignment for a long period of time, and it starts to become my steady state. It becomes my normal. And I'll give you this example in terms of fitness with sports, right? So let's say I'm out of shape.
Okay.
Right? And I go to the gym for one day and I work out and I feel really good in that day. So I can say like, today was a good day. I can feel my body's in a little bit. But then, you know, the next days, if I don't keep doing it, I just go back to that. But if I continue to work out for some days or some weeks, then I can say, oh, I'm starting to feel in shape. If it becomes a regular habit and I'm doing it for weeks and months, then I can say, I'm in shape. My state is I'm in shape. And you know when you're saying, yeah, I'm in shape, right? So I want to distinguish these three states. So,
Short term,
so the
middle
first
term,
is
long term.
flow. The second one is alignment. The third is, I use a Sanskrit word, which is called swastha. So swastha is two words in Sanskrit. Swa means self, like in French, swa. Sta means to be situated in. So swastha means to be situated in yourself. And here, I mean for that long term, when I'm situated in myself for the long term. And interestingly, the word swastha in Sanskrit means healthy. So what healthy means is not your body mass index, it's not your cholesterol levels, it's not your sugar levels. Swastha means a consistent state of being situated in yourself for a period of time. So this is what I'm looking at in terms of flow, alignment, and then something I call swastha.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's really more clear of the inner state we are looking for to be in movement, to allow the movement. Regardless of that, we can, in the day-to-day experience of life, we can still feel that something abnormal is happening. So I'm not moving. I'm not feeling the way I'm supposed to feel. You said that express your talents, your strength, maybe is the same or it's not?
Oh, I like when you picked up a great word.
Okay, let's go with this one.
We have to go into this one because I have a very different perspective about the word strengths and of course weaknesses.
Weakness, yeah.
All right. Let me be really clear and straight about this.
Yes, please.
I don't believe in strengths and weaknesses.
Okay, so you believe in talents and?
I believe in assets and liabilities.
Oh, that's different.
Let me explain why. This is something I think you're going to like. Right. So let's pick an example. Let's make it really concrete. Go to the airport and you see a man there who's working at the baggage scanner, right? So there's a bag. The bags are going through the X-ray machine, and he's looking for some, bombs or something like that. Watching the bags going through. Let's say that his talent is he's got talents of visual ability. That he's got a great set of eyes to be able to detect things, and he also has this tendency to be protective, like a natural ability, what I call a protective nature, to protect. So he's got a protective nature, his visual ability as well, visual intelligence. He puts them together and he's watching thousands of bags go by every day. He feels completely aligned. You might think that it's boring to do something, but he's getting pleasure out of doing that because it aligns with who he is.
Because he's taking care of people.
He's taking care of people, he's protecting them, right? And it feels very natural, easy, effortless, enjoyable.
Something for him.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So some people might say those are his strengths. Okay. What happens if this same guy is very interpersonal, very sociable, loves to talk, loves to chat, right? And he's also very funny and loves to make jokes and to kid around. We might say to have like an entertaining nature. Right? In French, I think you say animatrice, right?
Yes.
They're like really, really big qualities inside.
So people man.
So now in this situation, would you call those strengths? Because thousands of people are walking by through the metal detector. Inside, he's going to feel torn because he's going to want to talk to those people and joke with them and make fun of their hat and right? And he can't.
Yeah.
So in the situation, having an enormous talent for joking, for being entertaining and interpersonal is a liability.
And in this situation, regarding the strengths and weakness perspective, his strengths will be a weakness in this situation.
Exactly. Yeah. So that's why I don't like to put absolute terms on a trait or a quality to call that quality a strength or a weakness, right? So whatever traits you have are absolutely fine. They're perfect. And there is, for sure, an environment, a type of work where your set of traits, whatever they are, will be like a key and a lock. They will be perfect.
There is a nugget here.
Yeah.
Whatever I am, I am perfect like I am.
I'm fine just the way I am.
Yeah.
Sometimes I say perfect and people jump on me for that. They're like, "Oh, perfection, blah blah."
Yeah,
so I say, "Okay, I'm perfectly imperfect."
yeah, obviously.
So I'll have my imperfections.
Yeah, I'm fine.
But I can say I'm fine the way I am. I don't need to change myself. I don't need to become somebody who I'm not.
That's a nugget.
This is really the nugget, because when people feel stuck, sometimes they think the problem is me, that there's some lack inside of me, and I need to become more like my friend, Jean-Pierre.
I'm not enough something.
I'm not enough something. So then they say, "Oh, I'm too much of an introvert. I have to learn how to become an extrovert." Or, "I'm not really good with business and mathematics, so I have to take some courses and become a really great business person, or develop those kind of skills." And so this is yet another kind of pain. It's the pain that people feel when they're trying to become somebody who they're not. So you have the pain of being stuck, and then on top of that, you add the pain of contorting myself to try to become somebody else, and you can't. No matter what, you can never do that.
Yeah. By trying to be good, you are losing yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's worst.
It's bad enough that you have the pain from being stuck. You just multiplied it times 10 by trying to become somebody who you're not. Yeah.
Okay, about knowing who I am, we all been through school when we were kids, and school help us to determine the talents regarding the school results. So if I'm good in mathematics and science, I will be oriented to science studies. But imagine I want to be a photographer. So I'm not sure what is my talent, because I didn't really experience photography.
Right. Yep.
But I've been told that I'm good in mathematics. Right. And what should I do? What is your way to address each and every people that think they know who they are regarding their school results or their outputs in business or in their job?
Well, the unfortunate thing is that most schools, where students study up to age, let's say 17 or 18, they don't really focus on your talents. They focus on content. Except for linguistic ability and maybe mathematical ability. Other than those two, there's not much emphasis or value that's given, nor attention to try to find and cultivate those other qualities. For example, if somebody's talking in school a lot, they're very interpersonal, right? They love to chit-chat, etc. It's a liability. They get in trouble for being talkative, right? But as soon as they graduate and they go out to get a job, what's the first thing they say? "We want somebody who's got great communication skills."
No sense.
But they told that person that they were, or if they were funny, right? As I said before, and they love to joke around. They were the class clown, and they got points deducted. But when they get out, they want someone who's animated and who can sell, or who can market, or who can network, right? But they're not teaching those skills, and they're not cultivating or valuing them. You'll get your scores for math and for science, but did you get a score for being, really great, or even selling things? I was speaking to one teacher one time, a principal in a school, and there was a girl who was getting famous people, idols and influencers. She was taking their photographs off the internet and printing them, and then on the school bus, she was selling them to the other kids. Right? I said, "Well, what happened?" She said, "We suspended her. We told her it's not allowed." I said, "You just lost one of the greatest opportunities. Why don't you just tell her that, look, it's not appropriate to sell," because she's got the entrepreneurial quality. Why don't you just tell her that, look, it's not appropriate to sell it here, but if you would like, maybe we can organize something. We could do a school fundraiser. We can, right?
I've got a story I heard a couple of days ago. Little kids, which is really creative, just start to design some pens with paints and things, and start selling it at school. The school called the police.
Yeah.
They just destroy something at this time.
This is, and now you imagine what happens to that child. Let's say that that child has a natural propensity for entrepreneurship, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that action was so traumatic. The police came, maybe they took that child, everybody found out, everybody sent messages on Facebook and
The
things like
adults
that.
blame me.
Yeah. And so they develop a trauma.
Absolutely.
Doing business and selling is bad. And so when they grow up to be an adult, they have this incredible ability, which is now forever blocked from being realized. And
this is how is create a glass saving.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So we agree that school is not equipped as a system to help us to discover who we are and what are our assets, talents. I know that you developed something that, and that is the point, to discover that. Can you make a short story of how did you get the idea to go there, and how did you create this to bring this tool to the world that is so efficient and so brings so clarity to people? What is the story? So you got this?
I'll give it in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Originally, when I was in high school, I wanted to be a rock star. That was my plan, because my music abilities are pretty good. I'm a little bit entertaining. But I found out quickly that aspiring rock stars don't make money. And I got a job as a teacher, just by chance.
To make money.
Just make money, pay the bills. In my first class, I had the realization that, oh my God, this is what you're meant to be, right? You have this capacity to teach. Then I decided to make a school where, because I have a little bit of an entrepreneurial side, make a school where every kid knew who they were. And then I moved to India. This was in long back, 1994. And I made a school with that as the center of the curriculum, where every kid would find out who they are. So that was the basis of my tool that I made. And then over the years, I studied psychology and traditional Indian philosophy that talked about these qualities, these talents. I developed a model. It's called multiple natures. So through that, I have a test, about 20 minutes online. And you can identify what are these abilities, what are these tendencies, and then how you can align specifically with the work that you do.
There is a big difference with this test and profiling test to determine my personality. It's not about personality. What is the difference of what you're doing?
Well, there are different tests that do different things. Like, look, just when you go to the hospital, you'll have an X-ray, an MRI, a sonogram. They're different, right? Then you have blood pressure tests and cholesterol tests. So all of them are meant to examine the inside of the body and what's going on. So in the same way, there are different tools that exist to look at what we might call your personality. Multiple natures looks at a specific range of qualities that are inside you. It's not the only tool, but I feel, of course, maybe I'm biased, but I feel that for looking at people's talents and then aligning it with the work and activities they do, it's really powerful. It's really comprehensive. So that's what it does super well.
If I base my the way I know myself on personality tests, do you agree that it's more about how I am in the world? What is my attitude? It is more about my way to be instead of my talents for personality test. And I mean that the multiple nature test will bring you more there, where there is more the talents. It is the difference you can make, or you can read it differently.
I think what this tool does best is it first helps you understand that what are the talents, especially in relation to activities and work. Specifically.
Okay.
Because, think about it. A apart from, eating, sleeping, and the things that we do routinely to maintain our lives, the majority of our day is spent in some kind of work activity, some kind of volunteer or community activity, or some kind of leisure activity.
Hobbies.
Yeah, it could be hobbies or any kind of interest. So that's the majority of our time is spent doing that. For most people, it can be 8 hours a day. So therefore,
we spend time to of doing things.
yeah, doing
things. Yeah.
So this is really about the doing. That what activities, if I do something, what would be the activities that most align with who I am, so it gets my energy flowing. Because when I get my energy flowing like that, then I feel good. I'm in a good mood. People like to be around me. I get praise. I tend to gain expertise very quickly because I'm naturally good at something. That's what talent means. If you're naturally good at something, you invest a little energy, you get better quickly. You invest some energy, you get better really quickly. So when I do things that I'm talented at, I feel accomplishment. Accomplishments get recognized. I develop expertise. People want to hire experts. People pay more money for experts. So this is the specific area that I focus on, because when you've got that going for you in your right direction, then I have more energy to go back to my daughter, to go back to my wife, to deal with family issues or community issues or whatever other problems might be. I have the emotional resources and energy to be able to deal with that. Whereas if I'm not aligned in those activities 8 hours a day, and I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I'm overeating, and then I go back to my family, and then if there's a small problem, I blow up. And then problems start with my daughter, or problems start with my wife, or with my family members or friends or something like
Absolutely.
that. So then imagine that. I've got a problem with my daughter, with my wife, with my family, and probably with money, that would most likely follow, and a problem with the work that I'm doing, and my colleagues, and my boss. So and I feel stuck. And I'm trying to be someone who I'm not. And that's what being stuck means.
Yeah.
That's the pain that people are feeling.
Absolutely.
It's like this vicious cycle you can't get out of.
So if I understand well, when I connect the things I can do align with my talents, my assets, I feel like the guy on the bicycle.
Exactly.
And more results with less resources.
Yep.
Absolutely.
That's it.
If anyone regarding this video, looking at this video and is wondering, okay, where could I find this kind of tests, practitioner that could help me going through the process? Where?
Okay.
Sure. In France and everywhere else, because this English interview could spread really widely.
If it's globally in English, multiplenatures.com. And in France, our lead trainer is sachalacoste.fr. So Sasha is training people in the method. In France, we have 65 practitioners who are using multiple natures with their clients. And he's also working with individuals. And so it's really starting to grow. In fact, in France, it's our largest base of multiple natures practitioners.
We will put in description under this video the links Steven just mentioned. Is there anything we didn't discuss and we should? Is there any question I didn't ask and I should?
Are there any? I think we got to some of the key points. Well, I don't know if there's anything that's on your mind.
Yeah, there is just a study from 2023, made through Mojo website, I think, Mojo organization, that is saying that in France, in 2023, 1/3 of the workers are feeling pain in their job. This means mental health issues. Burnout is not so far. 1/3 of the workers is 10 millions of people that should take benefits of having a look on what multiple nature is. So it's a massive need from the market, from the field, and I'm really proud to bring my contribution here with this interview. With this interview. My English is ringing out. Thank you very much, Steven, for your time. Thank you very much for this clear example and allow us to well understand what happens inside, what we feel, but it's not cool and it's not it's not good to get and to more understand where we are and where we could be. So thank you very much.
Thank you.